Whoo, boy. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally, excuse me, literally does not work. Man, it has been raw. It is still about maybe 45 degrees or so here, still kind of raining a bit. And it's going to get crazy tomorrow. It's going to get windy, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The temperature is going to drop like a rock and everything else. It's amazing how fast things can change in life. You know, you may think that you got something that's working really good and all that. You may think that you got yourself a great buddy and things and a partner in crime that's going to do stuff for you and help on you. And then you find out they turn on you. The things go bad. They go south in a hurry. And what you thought might have been really, really good might actually end up being really, really bad. And sometimes you have things in life that start out and they look terrible. They look terrible. And then, turns out, it's not as bad as you thought it was. And herein lies the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Two teams that are literally going in opposite directions right now. It's kind of crazy because you have the 6-7 Jacksonville Jaguars that if they can win 3 games, they're in the playoffs. A team that nobody thought much about. Nobody gave them a whole lot of credit. People were laughing about them, but they beat us last week. The question you have to say is, do we actually get beat by a team that's getting hot right now? And there's no shame to losing to a team that's getting hot, because that happens. Because the Jets, for a while there, looked like they were headed to the playoffs and possibly being better than the Buffalo Bills, the team that beat the Buffalo Bills. And now they look like ass. They're totally gone in the, you see the wind's already picking up. They've totally gone in the other direction. They now are truly going downhill. And it's crazy watching this because both teams will end up being, it looks like the Jaguars are up 16-3. The Jaguars will go to 7-8, as well as the Jets going 7-8. But right now you got to say that the Jags are a lot better 7-8 than the Jets are. And again, the Jaguars win 2 games, they're in the playoffs. And who knows what happens when you get to the playoffs. Now, an interesting thing, I'm sitting here thinking, and this is not me wishing for injuries and things, but this is understanding about injuries. You know, we had Jerry Jones talking about, well, Dak Prescott could be back in like 3 to 4 weeks. It wasn't 3 to 4 weeks. It was actually more like 7 weeks, I think. Cooper Rush, was it 6? Was it 6 weeks? 7 weeks, I think it was. You're always optimistic about injuries, but then there's reality. They were optimistic about Chase Young being able to maybe start the season or the first couple of games. Here it is. There's only 3 games left, and it's maybe Chase Young gets his first action this weekend. That's how bad that injury was. And so my question is, with Jalen Hurts, a sprained shoulder is 1 or 2 weeks typically. A grade 2 can be 3 to 4 weeks. And depending on the severity of it, it could be 5-6 weeks. Now, it's one thing to play when your adrenaline's flowing. You're out there pumping around and everything else. It's another thing after the swelling gets in there and everything else in time. I don't know. I'm just putting this question and asking it out there. Is this going to be an injury that they look at and say, don't play this weekend, don't play next? Right? That's what caution would tell you. And looking at the last game against the Giants, are you going to put him in to play the last game against the Giants after having a shoulder injury? Or do you say, no, we're going to rest it for the playoffs? Because then you're talking about having a bye week, and then having to play. So now you're saying that maybe your quarterback may not play for 5 weeks and then have to play in a playoff game? That's a lot to ask. That's a whole lot to ask. But I don't know. What I do know is Eagle fans are a little bit quieter this week than they have been. You know, normally I hear about how the Cowboys, all off season, I heard how the Cowboys are scared of the Eagles. I ain't heard from Philly 500 all week. I ain't heard anything from Philly 500 this week. It's kind of interesting, don't you think? Now, we are beat up. We lost Anthony Brown and then had Kevin Joseph in there, and we literally have gone through and said, anybody but Kevin Joseph. We got open tryouts right now. If anybody can step forward and play better than Kevin Joseph, by all means, let's have you out here. We got Micah Parsons, who finally got back from illness, and we got Diggs, who now went out today with that same illness, and we got Sam Williams, who was in a car accident. And, of course, we have a quarterback who they say is ass, and that the Dallas Cowboys are the same Cowboys that what can go wrong will go wrong, and they're imploding. But see, this is the funny thing, because I remember one year when we were going to New Orleans, and they said, we have no chance in hell to win that game. And I believe that was the game that DeMarcus Lawrence said, it's hard to be great when you get punched in the mouth. It was something of that nature. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that. And the Cowboys, and I said, we're going to get this win. And the Cowboys, lo and behold, they went there and they won that game. The Cowboys have been counted out so many times. But it's those occasions, I dare say, the problem, it doesn't make any sense to me with the Cowboys. If you notice, when the Cowboys aren't expected to do anything, is when they do. When they are expected to be that team and those guys, they always fail. Remember when the Super Bowl was supposed to be in Dallas? And they were talking about the Cowboys could be the first team to host a Super Bowl in their own stadium? Yeah, that was the year we got Jason Garrett. 2014, after that year, oh, the Cowboys, man, great team. They're going to turn around and be great the next year. Super Bowl favorites. We were 4-12. Dak Prescott's rookie year, 13-3. The next year, oh man, they got their shit together. They're going to be a Super Bowl favorite next year. 9-7, came back down to earth. It's the years that nobody expects us to do stuff that we always do. It's the games that we're not expected to do anything against that we win. I can't explain it. I wish I could. But this to me has that feeling where, for once, I'm happy that I'm not hearing quotes from the Cowboys. That maybe they are focused in on this game and actually going through and taking care of business. When they take care of business and play like a team, they can beat anybody. I'm not ready to give up on this team or this season. Not at all. So, with that being said, tomorrow night this time, it's going to be 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be cold as shit. I guess this water that's out here will be icy. And I'm going to do what I can to get back out here. I'll just need to get a bigger coat. But you guys know how we roll. Remember to tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again, people. I'm being serious on that. You might not get the chance again. And you do not, do not want to be trying to get this canopy back in. My remote's not working right. There we go. You do not want to be one of those people that are living with regret of not letting people know how you feel about them. I love you guys. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.